You ever noticed how the smell of a shop changes on a Friday morning? It's less about the sawdust and more about the anticipation. It's like the wood knows we're about to do something reckless over the weekend.
Speak for yourself. My weekend plans involve a couch and zero power tools. But for the rest of the tigers out there, we've got a massive Friday breakdown. We're talking about the 3D printing boom, the massive shift in who's actually wearing the tool belts these days, and how to stop shouting into the void of social media.
It's a brave new world, Alex. I remember when high tech in the shop was a calculator that didn't have glue on the buttons. Now, we're doodling things into existence.
Let's start there. 3D printing. You used to call it making toys with melted string, but you've been spending a lot of time on all 3DP lately. What changed?
Well, my pride mostly. I realized I was spending 4 hours carving a custom jig out of scrap white oak just to hold a weirdly shaped pipe when I could have just dreamed it up. There's this new doodle mode from CookieCAD that dropped a couple of days ago. It's for the folks like me who get a headache looking at CAD software that has more buttons than a cockpit. You just draw. The printer follows your hand.
So, wait, you're telling me you can just scribble a shape and the machine breathes it into life? Is it actually structural, or are we still talking about plastic trinkets that snap if you look at them sideways?
You'd be surprised. I printed a series of custom shop labels and some light-duty router templates last night. It's not about replacing the timber, it's about the scaffolding. Matthew Mensley just put out this 2026 guide, 24 categories of printers. There's stuff in there that handles carbon fiber. It's not just for making little green boats anymore, Alex. It's about making the tool that makes the project.
I'll believe it when I see you trust a 3D printed stool with your weight, Tiger.
Hey, I've had traditional joints fail on me because I got overconfident with the wood glue and underprepared with the clamps. At least with a printer, the mistake happens while I'm in the kitchen making a sandwich.
Speaking of mistakes, let's talk about the college or bust mistake. The 2026 data is officially in, and Gen Z is making everyone look a bit silly. 60% of them are ditching the lecture halls for the trades. They're calling it the Toolbelt generation.
It warms my cynical heart. It really does. For years, we treated the trades like a plan B for people who couldn't figure out a spreadsheet. Now, there's a vacuum. 150,000 construction workers needed, 80,000 electricians. If you can bend conduit or frame a wall right now, you aren't just a worker, you're a rock star with a pension.
But it's not just old school hammering, right? The report mentions Contech, construction technology, AI as a teammate. I can hear the purists screaming from here.
Let them scream. Look, nobody likes the spreadsheet part of a job. Tracking 400 sheets of drywall and 3 different plumbing crews is a recipe for a migraine. If an AI can handle the logistics and the scheduling, it means the master carpenter gets to actually, carpenter. It's taking the busy work out of the hard work. If you're a young person entering the trades now and you can speak robot as well as you speak framing, you're going to be the most valuable person on any site.
So you're saying I should put down the chisel and pick up a prompt?
I'm saying you should use the prompt to make sure you have enough time to use the chisel. I once spent 3 days waiting for a lumber delivery that was sitting in a warehouse 5 miles away because of a clerical error. That's 3 days of my life I'll never get back. If an algorithm can prevent that, I'll take the robot out for a beer, or at least a shot of WD-40.
Let's pivot to the business side. For all our maker moguls out there trying to sell their work, the broadcast era is dying. We're moving into what TikTok is calling bulletin boards and broadcast channels. It's less about screaming at a million people and more about whispering to 100.
It's the old general store vibe, just digital. People are tired of the polished, fake lifestyle brands. They want to see the blood, sweat, and the time you accidentally dropped your finished piece and took a chunk out of the corner.
You're a big fan of showing the ugly parts of the process.
Because that's where the soul is. There's this marketer milk insight that's trending. Hyper-transparency. If I'm buying a $500 end table, I don't want a stock photo. I want to see the specific slab of walnut it came from. I want to see the grit on the maker's hands. People in 2026 aren't buying objects. They're buying a story they can tell their dinner guests.
So basically, stop trying to look like a factory and start looking like a human.
Exactly. If your shop is too clean in your videos, I don't trust you. If there's not a pile of oops offcuts in the corner, you aren't working hard enough.
All right, enough talk. It's Friday. People want projects. We've got 3 big ones on the radar. First up, Fatfish Design Z is doing custom cutting boards. Now, Tiger, I know you think the world has enough cutting boards.
I do. I really do. But these are different. It's about the intersection of utility and art, using those exotic scraps you've been hoarding in the too pretty to throw away bin. It's the perfect weekend win because you can actually use the result for Sunday dinner.
Then we've got SPS Sergeant Rainville and Magic Resin. He's using it with CNC carving to turn defects into features.
That's the secret sauce. A knot in the wood isn't a problem. It's an opportunity for a river of resin. It's about working with the material's flaws instead of fighting them. It's a bit like life. You just fill the holes with something shiny and keep moving.
Deep thoughts from the sawdust pile. And finally, Maker Channel is doing a deep dive into logo design. Because if you're going to build something epic, you need to sign it properly.
A project without a brand mark is just a piece of furniture. A logo says, I stood behind this tool and I'm proud of what happened. Even if it's just a simple Adobe design you etch in with a laser, it's the period at the end of the sentence.
So, what's the big takeaway for this Friday, February 13th, besides staying away from black cats in the shop?
It's that the good old days of making things are actually right now. We have the best tech we've ever had, but we're seeing this massive return to the dignity of manual labor. Whether you're printing a bracket, framing a house, or pouring resin into a crack, you're part of a lineage.
Just don't let the AI do the resin pour. That feels like a recipe for a sticky floor and a very confused computer.
Believe me, some things still require a human touch and a lot of paper towels.
Fair enough. If you're ready to level up, head over to the TigerDen blog. We've got the links to the trades, the business tips, and those DIY tutorials ready for you.
Go get your hands dirty this weekend. Make something that didn't exist yesterday. We'll see you back here on Monday. Stay sharp.